ballroom and the singing telegram girls in the hall. Not to mention one damning evidence hidden somewhere in this house. Our evening guests may be gifted at breaking the law, but they clearly need work on breaking a case. So, who is the killer, you might ask? I'm sure you have your suspicions, but be no time to discuss that now. The police are nearly here. Very well. In order to figure out who the murderer is, I believe the best course of action is to start from the beginning. Sometimes the most obvious answer is right under our noses.
Hey, wait a second. I thought the cat was dead.
Yes. Thank you, Colonel. So nice of you to join us. I shall take you through the events of the evening, step by step. Now, to my understanding, at the start of the evening, a man was here, waiting to offer you all a glass of champagne. The doorbell rang. It was you. I recognized you as Colonel Mustard, and then offered you a drink. Doorbell, Mrs. White, pale and tragic. A rumble of thunder, a crash of lightning. Mrs. Peacock clinging to her Bible as the cook takes her coat. Green, Scarlet, Plum, and Peacock all arrived. That's when the cook banged on the gong, and we all went to the dining room. You found your names beside your places. Shakespeare's been served! My favorite! And you had a letter, and you had a letter, and you
Get on with it!
We all went to the study. Mr. Body gave you gifts, and you opened them.
Yes, a candlestick.
A wrench.
A lead pipe.
A dagger.
A revolver. A rope.
Then Mr. Body switched off the lights. Mr. Body never thought apparently dead, but he wasn't really dead, he was really alive, and we didn't know it. Next, Mrs. Peacock drank his drink. Professor Plum told us the drink might be poison. I had to stop her screaming. Then we heard more screams from that. We ran to the billiard room. But one of us wasn't in there. Who? Patience. Then we all ran to the kitchen. Mr. Green, you were under the cook's corpse for approximately 2 minutes and 57 seconds while the rest of us never even realized you were gone. I suggested we take the cook's corpse to the study. But Body's body was gone. Then Mrs. Peacock stumbled into the room with Body on her body because Body had been blooded in the bin in the bathroom with the lead pipe. Of course, to really figure out who the murderer is, we have to backtrack to the cellar.
The
cellar?
Wait. Why are we talking about the cellar?
There was only one person down there when the power went up. You.
So?
You murdered them all. You grabbed the gun from Professor Plum, only instead of killing Mr. Body, you missed.
That's right. I thought you were Peacock for the brush when you grabbed the gun.
You were the person who was missing when the cook was murdered, and then Mr. Body was murdered for real this time.
Not so. I was there with the rest of you.
When we heard that scream, we all ran from the study. But you lagged behind. I'm in an aggravated state of shock. Well, I found your feather in the freezer, Mrs. Peacock. It was your dagger that stabbed the cook in the back.
And the cook used to be your cook. Don't you remember your favorite mistake? You told us at dinner that we were eating one of your favorite recipes. And monkey's brains while popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not usually eaten in Washington, D.C.
Is that what we ate?
Poor woman, I thought you liked her soup. It was my favorite. But what about Mr. Body? He lunched at me, remember?
When we returned to the study and found Mr. Body missing, you knew you had to take care of him. So you excused yourself to the bathroom, grabbed a lead pipe, and bludgeoned him to death, making us think he was attacking you.
Well, why would I have murdered the others?
In case Mr. Body had told them about you.
Wait, so this whole thing wasn't about disappearing us into prostitutes or whatever?
No, that was just a red herring. Mrs. Peacock did it all.
There's no proof.
The gun is missing. Gentlemen, turn out your pockets. Ladies, empty your purses. Whoever has the gun is the murderer.
Very well. You're right. What do you propose we do about it?
Nothing.
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 Nothing at all. I don't condone murder, but it seems you've done the world a public service by ringing it on a appalling blackmailer and his disgusting informants.
But the police will be here any minute. What are we gonna do then?
Why should the police come? No. Call them.
You mean?
That's right. Now, I suggest we stack the bodies in the cellar, lock the cellar door, leave quietly one at a time, and pretend that none of this ever happened.
Fine by me. But just in case any of you get any wise ideas about double-crossing me, just remember, I know all of your secrets.
But you don't have any proof.
Oh, yeah? What do you call this?
You have the evidence.
It's all here. I had my suspicions of what I might find, but I never imagined it would be this rich.
Let me see that.
Let's take a look, shall we? First, we have this love letter addressed to Professor Plum.
Hey, that's private property.
Seems the head of the U.S. Department of Social and Behavioral Sciences would be most interested in who his daughter is seeing.
Now see here.
Next, Miss Scarlett's accountant book with client names and dates of service, proving she is one of DC's highest grossing madams.
Give me that!
Next, my oh my, these negatives, Colonel. You were quite the regular at Miss Scarlett's establishment. Seems you wouldn't have gotten to keep your important military title if the photos Yvette took were released to your Major General.
I, just wanted somebody to talk to.
Talk, huh? And next, I have fingerprints collected at the scenes of Mrs. White's previous murders.
I never murdered my husband.
Fingerprints I'm sure the FBI would be able to trace back to you.
I wore gloves.
You mean these?
Darn it.
And last, but certainly not least, Mr. Bobby Body.
It's Robert.
Aha! I knew you weren't Wadsworth.
Mr. Body!
I hold in my hand an FBI file on the whole big Body family. Your butler's been feeding me information for months. Seems your family has been wanted for organized crime, blackmail, and murder for generations. But you've always eluded the law. Until now. Tonight, the Body family business has met a dead end.
You leave my family out of this.
Wait a minute. You're telling me that I'm the only one here that doesn't have more than one secret?
I'm sure there's something I can dig up on you. Don't push your luck. Now, if you don't mind, I will be leaving first.
Not at all. In fact, I think we owe you a vote of thanks.
For she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
I told you I didn't do it.
But, what if the authorities figure out what happened?
Oh, the FBI will take care of that.
You mean?
My friend, old Hoover, I work for him, of course. How else would I have known everything about you all?
Well, then I guess there's still just one thing I don't understand.
One thing.
Who was Mrs. Peacock taking bribes from?
A foreign power. Her husband, the senator, has influence over defense contracts.
Is there going to be a cover-up?
Isn't that in the public interest? What could be gained by exposure?
Is the FBI in habit of cleaning up after multiple murders?
Yes. Why do you think it's run by my Uncle Hoover?
Oh, Mrs. Peacock,
How do you know my name?
the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
I didn't do anything.
Oh, really?
I'm innocent.
That's not the way we heard it. Okay, boys, take her away.
You get your hands off of me! I'm the wife of a senator!
Wadsworth, we got her.
You see, we always get our man.
Mrs. Peacock was a man?
Or did it happen like this? Now, try to stay with me. At the start of the evening, a vet was here, waiting to offer you all a glass of champagne. The doorbell rang. It was you. I recognized you as Colonel Mustard, and that offered you a drink. Doorbell, Mrs. White, tear and treasure. A rumble of thunder, a crash of lightning. Green and scarlet, peacock and sun, all around. That's when the cook banged on the gong, and we all went to the dining room. You found your names beside your places.
Sharkfin soup!
My favorite. And you had a letter, and you had a letter, and you
Yes!
We all went to the study. Mr. Body gave you gifts, and you opened them.
Yes, a candlestick.
All right.
A lead pipe.
A dagger.
Revolver.
A rope.
Then Mr. Body switched off the lights.
Oh my gosh.
That's right.
Mr. Body lay on the floor, apparently dead, but he wasn't really dead. He was really alive, and we didn't know it. Next, Mrs. Peacock drank his drink. Professor Plum suggested the drink might be poison. Ah! I had to stop her screaming. Then we heard more screaming from the vet. We ran to the billiard room. Well, I can assure you that none of us killed Mr. Body or the cook.
Then who did?
The one person who wasn't with us. Yvette.
Yvette!
She was in the billiard room listening to our conversation. When she heard the gunshot, she thought he was dead. So while we were all examining the bodies, she crept into the study, grabbed the dagger, ran to the kitchen, and killed the cook. We didn't hear the screaming because Mrs. Peacock was too busy screaming about the poison cognac. Then Yvette returned to the billiard room. She screamed, and we all ran to her.
Well, then, when did you kill Mr. Body?
Patience. Then we all ran to the kitchen. Mr. Green, you were under the cook's corpse for approximately 2 minutes and 57 seconds, while the rest of us never even realized you were gone. I suggested we take the cook's corpse to the study. But Buddy's body was gone. Then Mrs. Peacock stumbled into the room with Buddy on her body because Buddy had been blooded in the bean in the bathroom with the lead pipe.
How?
When we all went to the kitchen to check on the cook, Yvette stayed behind to check and see if he was dead. He got up and followed them down the hall, so she hit him on the head with the lead pipe and dragged him to the toilet.
But why?
To create confusion.
It worked.
Why did she do it?
Was it because she was under orders from the person who later killed her?
Who?
Who?
Was it one of her clients? A jealous ex-wife? An adulterous doctor?
Hey.
No, It was her employer, Miss Scarlett.
That's a lie.
Is it? You used her the way you always used her. She worked for you for years and knew all of your secrets. You killed the motorist when they split out to search the house.